Your legacy. Welcome to day 29 of our No Nonsense November 30-day challenge and day 333 of our Be a Better You annual challenge. Usually in November, at least for the last, this is the third year in a row, I've taken time out from the annual challenge, and not really taken time out, but decided that November is the month where I just look at what happened this year and in previous years and say, okay, what are the 30 things, or just what are 30 things that we need to focus on and look at and pay attention to as we're moving forward into planning for next year in December, wrapping up 2025 and planning for 2026, or whatever time you might be seeing this particular video. You can tell my voice is still not back, but it's getting a little better. If I don't try to talk loud, I think it sounds better than if I try to talk loud. So today we're talking about legacy, your legacy. And the fact that your legacy, you're creating it right now, whether you know it or not. We all are, right? We're all creating things all the time. And so it either is being created by default and we're not paying any attention to it. And so what our legacy will just be how we showed up in the world. Or we're doing it intentionally. The older I get, the more important it is to me to actually decide what do I want to leave behind? What kind of messages do I want to leave behind for my kids and my grandkids? It's part of why I started creating content. What do I want to put out into the world? And, it's up to each and every one of us. Maybe you don't want to put anything out into the world. Maybe you just want to be in your nuclear family and go to work every day and do your job and be a kind, loving person. And that's your legacy, right? Setting the example for other people. So today, what are some things we can look at and consciously be aware of what we're putting out into the world? I am working on personal self-awareness because I think that I've learned over time, whenever there's something that isn't working in my life, it's always me that is causing it to not work. That's a very humbling position to be in, but it's just time and time again. And I suspect it's true for everyone on the planet. If you're not getting the results you want in any area or every area of your life, it's because you are somehow preventing the world and the universe and the creation of that. It might be from a belief, a limiting belief in childhood. It could be all kinds of things. It could be a past relationship. It could be trauma. It could be, whatever you can think of. It could be an experience that you had that just totally threw you off your life purpose and your life track. But every day is a new day, and we can always say, today's the day I'm going to set my life back on the track that I think it was supposed to be on in the first place. So what are some ways we can do this? Number one, we can think about and be self-aware and say, okay, well, what kind of legacy do I really want to leave? I personally want every person that I come in contact with to be better because they saw me, they met me, they interacted with me, etc. That's a pretty big order, right? Pretty tall order. Because some days we're just not very nice. I don't know about you. When I don't feel good, or when I'm hungry or hangry, sometimes I get snappy, just like every other human being. But every time I do that now, I notice and I'm like, is that the way I really want to respond and react and come off? Or can I do better? And then I take a deep breath, pause, reset, and have a better response to what's going on than just my initial emotional, not, I want to say guttural, but I think it's our instinctual reaction to things. So some of the ways I do that is I make a concerted effort to deliver massive value to the people that I come in contact with, to leverage what's already working in my life and do more of that. And the things that aren't working, I either will tweak or stop doing, right? I create new habits and rituals for myself on a pretty regular basis, at least monthly during the annual challenge. But personally, whenever something comes up that I am aware isn't working for me, I figure out what's going on, what's the bottleneck, what is actually the root cause of the problem. And then I eliminate that, and all of a sudden it doesn't just fix that one thing. It's like a domino. It fixes all kinds of other things that I didn't even realize were being impacted by that thing. So I choose to, deliver massive value whenever and wherever I can. That's why I end most of my videos in, if you got a question, if you need help, just ask. Let me be that resource for you. And you know what? It's kind of sad how few people actually take me up on that. I think people don't believe when you ask, how can I help anymore? I think that we've gotten a little cynical as a human species. And that's, I think, in part because of all the inundation and things trying to flash in our face and get our attention. So today, we're going to keep it simple. I want you to think about, okay, this is the number one thing. Have you ever even considered a legacy, or that you want to leave a legacy? And I know probably about 3% of the population has already considered that, but the rest of us, no. The rest of the people on the planet, 97%, have probably not even thought or even considered what legacy is, much less what the legacy is that they're creating. The truth is, how we live our life every single day is our legacy. So if you're a positive, possibility manifesting, focused, kind, generous human being, that is the legacy you're leaving. And that's awesome. You don't have to do anything else. But if you're like most of us humans and you have good days and bad days, and sometimes the bad days turn into bad weeks, bad months, bad years, think about what you're creating, right? Because that is our legacy. And our legacy is right now in the present moment, because that's the only time we can act and choose to make a change or be different or live differently. So today, as an action item, let's just think about and reflect on what's changed in this 30-day challenge. We're not going to go all the way back to the beginning of the year. We're going to do that in December as part of the Be a Better You annual challenge. But today, over the last 30 days, what's changed for you? Have you changed anything? Have you done anything differently? Do you feel differently? Be honest with yourself, and then you can share in the comments below so we can all learn from one another. I guarantee you've had some wins. If you're doing this every day, you've had some wins, whether you've acknowledged them or not, throughout the course of the 30 days. And then just post something that you've done to commit publicly the kind of legacy that you want to leave, or the biggest shift that you've had this month. If I think about the biggest shift, my challenge is I'm doing so many different things right now. It is really a challenge to know what has actually pushed the button and moved the lever for me, because there's been so many different things. I'll think about it and post in the comments below my action item, which is, in the last 30 days, has anything shifted for me? What is the biggest shift that I've noticed, or that other people have noticed? It's even more powerful when we've made a shift and change. And I know people that have done this, and like in a week, people are like, oh my God, what happened to you? Were you abducted by aliens and they redid your brain? Because that's how fast these things can happen. It's how powerful we are as human beings. All right, any questions, hit me up. Please text or direct message me for the next few days until my voice comes back. Have an amazing day. And I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.